and bladdy, 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 blah. Pinkies up. My tears of happiness. You ain't gonna be as blended as you think you are. Cool, 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 cool. So I'm gonna line my lips. Ooh. It's flexible hold.
It's game time and I'm up one. Name something I ain't done. Name a body that's my type. Air Jordan, I'll take flight. I'm next level, I'm franchise.
To our winner, Julia, Rene.
Good morning, buff babes and bros, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Julia Rene, and I'm an IFBB Wellness Pro, and in today's video, we're gonna do a get ready with me. I've been getting a lot of questions about my makeup and bladdy, 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 blah. So I thought I would share with you my favorite products that I have been using lately and how I put on the makeup. So right now I have a clear face, and what I used to watch it was the, what is this? From The Ordinary. Everything that I use for my skin is from this brand. I absolutely love this brand because not only is it affordable, but they have everything that you need. I bought my entire face set from this brand for only like $48, which was pretty freaking crazy. Okay, so what I'm going to use first is the Milk Makeup Hydro Primer. This is the best primer that I have found. It is so sticky and so grippy, and that's what you want in a primer. So I do 2 pumps of that, and I just kind of put it on, but make sure that I go upwards motions. Oh my God, this feels so good. If you guys don't have a primer and you're wondering why your makeup isn't staying, this is why. So now the thing that I do that also makes my makeup stay super well is I first do a base layer of concealer to kind of just hide anything, because I have just really naturally dark under eye circles too. So it's a little frustrating. So I'm gonna use the Kat Von D concealer. So what I do for this concealer is I just use one. I don't use one in that is like super specific each time because it's just a base layer. So I just like cover up these little scars, because I get like, if I have a pimple or something, I am so easily scarred, it's not even funny. And then I'm gonna get my beauty blender. It already is a little bit moist, and just kind of blend that in. So this really makes a huge difference in how well your concealer or your foundation and makeup stay throughout the day, is this base layer I do and the primer. So I had my little sister try this, and she was like, I don't like it. It makes me break out because it's too many layers for her. But I would definitely just try it and see what you like and make a decision for your own, because you a boss ass lady and you can decide what you want to do. Okay, so now I have this little base layer on. I know it like looks like I'm just like attacking my face right now and I look super white. That's because like I don't really focus too much on like what color this one is, because I end up covering it anyways. Okay, next we're gonna put on foundation. So right now I'm using the Fenty foundation. So what I'd like to do with this, because it, honestly, if I'm not gonna lie, it is not my skin color right now. Like I have an entire bottle and I've been meaning to go to Ulta or Sephora and get the correct color for my skin because it's too orange and it's been bothering me. But what I've been doing lately is putting just like a dab of this darker color in to kind of make it a little bit less orangey. And then I just mix it together with this brush. There we go. And then I'm just gonna kind of put it all over. And then we'll start blending it all in. Bake the face as fast as you can. We haven't even gotten to the baking yet. So put that all over, and then we go in with our beauty blender to blend it all. Make sure you get it in your ear, blend it out, and bring it down your neck as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a little bit of concealer, and I'm gonna do a little bit of contour as well. So for the contour, I'm gonna use the Makeup by Mario stick. This is in the color medium dark. I have found, for some reason, that whenever I do contours, like I do a liquid contour, it kind of is like patchy on my skin. So I don't do it on my cheeks anymore. I just do it on my forehead. I like bring it up here, and then I'm gonna do a little bit on my nose. And this comes with like a little thingy, so you can blend it out with that, which is really cool. So I'll just blend it with that. It's not too dark because I end up doing a little bit of a powder and a little bit of a, what is this called? What's the word? Brain fart. Liquid, I guess. And then always blend it with the rest. So I got that there, and then I'm gonna do the Nars Creamy Concealer. I love this one. So I'm just gonna kind of let this set a little bit under my eye, and I bring it out here as well to get that kind of more lifted look. Right here. Kind of let it set a little bit. I'm gonna do a couple of dots down my nose for some highlight, and then right here and right here. So this is basically, it's like setting a base for what you're going to do later. So I'm not only gonna do this while my face is in, like, I guess the wet phase, but I'm also gonna do it a little bit when it's in the setting it with the powder. So we got the forehead. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a brush like this. This one, I'm probably gonna use this side, and I'm just going to go over the top of this like that. And then I'm gonna use it for my nose contour. I'm not gonna do too much here because if I'm gonna be honest, I'm not very good at it. So, and I find that sometimes if you mess up your nose contour, it honestly just looks worse. And then you look like a freaking weirdo. And I do that a lot by accident because I'm not that good at it. So the more that you like press it and blend it, the better that it's going to be. See, I'm already like not liking it that much, but I just want a little bit so that when I go in, when it's more dry, that it's better. Now that that is done, I'm going to get my, where did it go? Beauty blender. And now I'm gonna blend the little highlighting portions out, because what this concealer is doing is highlighting all the areas where light usually catches you. It's kind of like the whole point of highlighting, and then going back with this brush to kind of just like blend it in a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I don't contour very much because, especially like on my nose, because I always mess it up and then I look stupid. So I just do a little bit, just a little bit, you know, blend this out here, and then we are good. Pinkies up. Next, now we have our base on, which is the foundation, a little bit of contour. Now we're gonna go into setting this so that it don't move anywhere. So what I've been using lately is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. And I got the big one because it lasts just so long. And now, what I usually have is I have a wet beauty blender, And this is the one that I actually like spend more money on, which is like the Beauty Blender brand, which is just better. And then I get some like cheap ones that aren't the Beauty Blender brand, and it's the dry one. So I use this one for the powder, and I use the other one for anything that's wet. So I'm gonna start setting under my eyes. I do this pretty dramatically, and then I'll just like let it sit there for a little bit. But I'm telling you guys, this technique I'm showing you, my stuff don't move. I even like, so back in the day, if you guys haven't been following me long enough, I used to be a makeup artist and a hairstylist. I didn't do it for very long, but it's definitely, you can tell. I love beauty and stuff like that, but fitness is just, it's more important to me because of all of the benefits that come with just changing your body and your mindset, all of those things that come with it. I just like fell in love with it. So yeah, I used to dabble, and now I'm making myself look like a weirdo, I know right now, but trust me, there's a method to the madness. So also, see, I'm re-highlighting the places that we put the highlight. One's higher than the other. I'm re-highlighting the places that we already put highlight when we did the concealer. So now I'm going to do a little bit down the nose, a little bridge of my nose, just like where we did it before. Right here, going up, and then here. Okay, looking fab, Sometimes when I look like this, I just like come out and see Zach and I'm like, what's up, baby? How you doing? Zach is just so used to my nonsense now that he's not even like fazed by my nonsense, you know? Like when I am, I guess, what's the word? Nonsensical? Let's go with that. Other people are like, oh my God, you're crazy. And Zach's like, meh, I live with it. So what I'm gonna use now is the Hello Happy that's dirty. Hello Happy Velvet Powder Foundation. So this is what I'm going to use on all the other areas that don't have the white setting stuff. So I'm gonna use it up here, and this also adds kind of like an additional contour in my eyelids. Ooh. So I'm kind of just like going around the areas that don't have it, and then we'll blend it in a little bit. I also like this because if I don't feel like putting on like my foundation or anything like that, then I can use this just by itself. And then I bring it down my neck, right here, get this big fluffy brush and bring it down here. You guys always want to blend it all up into your other things. You know, the more that you blend, the better. What are you doing in my mouth? Get out. You don't belong there. Okay, got it. Nailed it. Killed it. 100, A+. Okay, so now I did everything, but I didn't do my nose. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our dry one. Dry, for the dry products. And we are going to go into the Hello Happy Foundation. I'm gonna pat this a little bit, and then I'm going to press the powder in on those outlines of my nose that I created from the beginning. Half of doing makeup is like getting it on your brush or whatever, and then like, so like all the product is just on your brush, then off your brush. So see, we set this in. We still got some pretty harsh lines from like where the powder is. Memento. Please let me dry my dears of happiness. So now I'm gonna get this brush, just whatever regular ass fluffy brush that you have, and I'm going to blend the setting, highlighting stuff in a little bit so you can see that it's going away and it's not as drastic. It's trying to look better together. And then we're going to do circles going up so that we can blend the color together. And then up in here so that we can blend it also. There we go. And then this, blend it. When in doubt, blend in circles and upwards. Circles are better. The more that you like spread like that, the more likely you ain't gonna be as blended as you think you are. I pride myself in being blended. I do. It's on my resume. There, blended. More. I think my one fault in like when I do my makeup is that like I spend half the time just like blending stuff that I've already blended? Yeah. Now, on to another layer of contour and another layer of, well, we haven't done our bronzer yet, so I'm gonna use the Hoola Toasted one. This one is pretty dark. I don't use this as bronzer. I use this as the contour because I personally am better at blending things that are powder than things that aren't. Like when they're liquid, I feel like there's more room for error. So if I get a little angled brush, this is nothing special. You know, I don't really get that many fancy things. And this is pretty pigmented, so you wanna be careful with it. But I'm gonna kind of start with doing like little circles that are going up right here where my little sideburnsies are. So circles going up, bring it up here, right here, and right here. And bring some to my forehead. I kind of pat this one in and then do circles because we're of course going to blend it after also, so. And a little bit under here just to make my jaw look sharp. Cool. Now, with that brush that we were using before, blend in circles up, blend in circles up. Blend, blend, blend. Cool, blend. And if you guys if you do your makeup in your bathroom, I definitely recommend doing it in the bathroom, but also going and checking like to your window because you might think you look good in your bathroom mirror and then you go outside and you're like, what the hell? That's not blended, I look like a monster. So I like to do both. Like I'll do this and then I'll go check at the mirror and I'm like, okay, I don't look crazy, so we're good. Now we're gonna go into bronzer. I'm using the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the color Island Ting. You can see all my camera setup. Got this big brush from e.l.f. I've had it for so long. So I'm just going to do circular motions up. Bring this down here. Circular motions up. A little bit on my nose. A good rule of thumb for this, and this is something that my mom taught me like when I was little, is to make like little threes, like a three, see? 1, 2. So usually that's what I do that little. Bring it down. Now I'm gonna check it on my natural light. Okay, now that that is looking good, we are going to go into blush. And you guys know how much I love orange, so I've been looking for an orange powdered blush. And this one is Nars, and it's called Taj Mahal. So it looks like super orange and sparkly, and I love it. So it has a little bit of sparkle to it, so you could get away with not even wearing highlighter, but I kind of just like, everything is usually circular motions going up. So I kind of like to think of my cheek as like a little, I don't know, it's like a little teardrop right here. So I got the contour, and then we have the bronzer, and now we're adding the blush. So it has a little, I don't know if y'all can see, I don't think you can even see the shine from here, but you'll probably be able to see it when I show you the finished product in the natural light. Okay. And this has like a bronze to it, so I kind of just like put a little bit everywhere. Okay, so now what I like to do is go back with this dry one, which usually has a little bit of extra of the white, and kind of just re-establish those brightening pieces, and then blend it out. Because sometimes like your bronzer and everything and your blush can get like right under your eyes, and you want to kind of keep it more bright instead of dark. Now that we got that out of the way, some highlighter. What I use is this little brush. If you have one of these, the brush top looks like that. And I don't know why, it's just like way better for blending highlighter. So I use that. This one, honestly, this is a MAC Gold Deposit. It's not my favorite one. Usually I use the Juvia's one, and you can only get it at Ulta. It's been sold out, so this was like a backup one. So it's not my favorite, but it'll do. You can see my little nosy nose is already getting shiny. So I like this brush because it blends it really well. So I bring a little here, tip of my nose, chin, and then we got the cheeks. There we go. Ta-da! And then a little bit more blush on top of that. And we're gonna move into the eyeshadow. I seriously freaked out for a second because I thought I lost my brush palette. So the thing that I don't like about eyeshadows is that, one, what usually happens when you buy an eyeshadow palette is that you use more of one color than the others, and you're wasting it. So what I figured out is that if I have the chance to make the palette however I want to, then I'm going to do that. So this is the MAC palette I made. These two broke and fell out because I dropped it. Woo! So these are all of the colors that I use on the regular. So I just made it, and they pop out, and you can just choose whichever ones you want, which is really cool because now I'm not wasting anything because I use them. So what I'm gonna do first is before I get into that, go with just I usually have a brush that I use for just my highlighter. So I'll go into this highlighter, and I'm going to highlight basically everything on my lid as like a little bit of a base. And then right in here, might as well get a little bit here too. Why not? Why not? You can never be too glowy, in my opinion. And some right here. I used to be so like precise on how I did everything, and now it's just like toned down. You guys are probably like, I would never even do this, Julia, but like this is a toned down version of how I used to do my makeup. It used to take me like so long because it had to be perfect. That's my perfectionism getting in the way of my life. Now we are going to go in with like a fluffy brush, and I am thinking I'm going to do, I just always do an orange look. So what I usually do is like a combo of this one and this one. So first I'm gonna start off with the lighter one, and there's really no method to me doing this. This is just how I do it. Just put this a little on my lid right there and kind of wing it out. So I get a little base of this and kind of just like wing it out. Good things like wing it and then bring it in, wing it and then bring it in. So I'm gonna do that on the other side so I can match it. Why is it that when we do makeup, we're always like, it's like our focus face, like we can't help it. I remember like a while back, everyone was like, try this test. Try and put mascara on without having your mouth open. And it's so hard because you're always like, and you're like, what is wrong with me? Okay, so now we have it on this side, kind of going out. And later I'm gonna make these lines a little bit sharper so that it kind of brings everything up a little bit. Does this look good? Hopefully. Now I'm gonna go in with a little darker one. I wish I knew the colors of these, but I don't. This one up here, this one's a little darker. I'm gonna put that one on the edge, right here, all right here. So this is just going to go right there, not necessarily like the whole thing, and then wing it out. Wing it out, wing it out. It's my life motto. I have literally been doing the wing eyeliner since like the 7th grade, and I haven't stopped since because it's just something that like is really flattering for my eye. I don't know why. And when I don't do it, I look like a monkey. You know when the monkeys have like their eyes like this? That's what I look like. So in my head, I probably don't, but you know, we make up stuff about ourselves that aren't true. So I'm gonna wing these out a little bit. I'm also like using a towel to kind of remove the product at the same time, and now I'm going to just blend this up a little bit into it. The thing about my lids, guys, is you could park a car on my eyelids because there's so much space, which is kind of annoying, but you know, I am not going to complain. So, got the dry brush again. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the powder. Hopefully this doesn't spill out. Okay, just get a little bit, and I'm going to go right under here and just make this a little sharper so that it's lifting up. It's a slight wing with my eyeshadow, and it complements the wing eyeliner that I always do. So, well, hopefully that looks good. I don't know. So I'm gonna kind of just keep it there for a little bit, because what it's gonna do is kind of prevent anything else from going on there. Blendy, blendy, blendy. And then I'm gonna get a smaller brush, and I'm gonna go in with the same colors, and I just do them on the bottom. So I'll do the darker one on the edge, move it a little bit in, and then once we get into the inside, I'll do it a little bit lighter, just so that it mimics whatever the heck I did on the top. Okay, now moving into the lighter one, right there. Now we're going to do the Izuma Brows. So I use the Kat Von D, it's like a pomade, and this is in the color medium brown. And I also do an angled brush like this, so that they can be as precise as possible. And a lot of the times I literally just grab it and like squeeze it so it's as pointy as it possibly can be. So what I'm gonna do is grab a little bit of the product. And pro tip, if you use something like this, always work through it this way. Because if you work through it this way, it helps it not go dry as quickly. Because if you just like go into it, it opens it all up and it can just dry out a lot faster. I literally tried it both ways, and this way is definitely works amazing. So I grabbed the product and I just put it on my finger, I'm not gonna lie. And the reason I do that is so that when I wanna make it pointier, I can go like that. So I have it on this here, and we're gonna start with this eyebrow. Hopefully I can do this while y'all are watching, because I do it so good to myself, and then when people are watching, it sticks. Okay, so now I have the basis of them done, which is like the thicker edges, and now I get a little bit less product in this inner part, and then just kind of like blend it out so that this part here is not as dark as the edges, because that's kind of how your eyebrows naturally are. Now, what I do to make I make little flickies right here, and I get this and I squeeze it and then do the little flicks. Hopefully you guys can see this. Ever so carefully. Flickies. See how there's like little flickies going on? Kind of make it look like I have extra hairs there, which I do not. Let's see. This probably will be better for you guys to see. Not my best work, but it is doable. It's always so much harder to do it this way. Okay, now that I got that, I'm gonna clean my hands off because they got nasties on them. And then usually I have a little baby brush that's like this. Can you see? Can you see? Like that. And I'll get a little bit of my foundation. Just a tiny little dot of my foundation. You can do this for your wing eyeliner, and you could do this for your eyebrows, but just to kind of like clean them up, I put a little bit right there. under here so that the line is a lot cleaner. And this is what I do all the time, because I definitely mess it up. Ta-da! There we go. Now, I'm gonna blend this under eye powder out. And then we're gonna do our lips and wing. So before I do my wing, I kind of like prep my lips. So I get like a Q-tip and I get all of the foundation off. There we go. And I get the Lip Inject Too Faced so that when I put my lipstick on, I got a little bit of plump already. So I let that sit on while I do my wing. And for my wing, I use the NYX Epic Ink Liner. Literally my favorite. I've been using it forever. Never does me wrong. And it's like a felt tip, which is what I like. It's easy for me to work with. So hopefully I can do a good wing for you guys, because I always do them really good and then I do them on camera and I'm like, wow, that was terrible. So let's see. Usually what I do is I'll start over here and I kind of follow the eyeshadow that I did. So right from this corner of the eye, just straight up, then kind of bring it here and then just flick it. A little bit of flick. Now I have a flick on either side. I think this is probably like the hardest part, is just getting the flick right. And that takes years of practice. Been doing it since the 8th grade. So, you know. So now that I got the flicks, I'm gonna connect the flicks. So right here, I'm gonna start about here and bring this in. Oh no, I'm running out. And then flick it up again. And we can also clean this up with that little trick I told you guys about earlier. Okay, so now we're gonna fill this in and we're gonna do it on the other side. Okay, now we have one on each side, just on the edges. And now we're just going to connect it. So try to make it like thicker on the outside, going into thinner on the inside. So, okay, now that we have the wings, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of foundation in that brush, just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna make the lines a little bit sharper. Oopsie, look how much better. Okay, so now that we have our eyes completely done, I'm gonna go back to the lips and then we'll just finish with some mascara on the bottom. So I'm gonna just take off the lip gloss now because it's already done its job by plumping. And then we're gonna put our lipstick on. So I don't know if you guys are like me, but like I have been trying to find a nude lipstick that I liked, and it was just so hard because sometimes if it's too nude, it makes you look like death. So I found one that's a little bit warmer because I like things that are warmer. So this is the MAC. It is so old that it doesn't even have the name on it. I don't even know the name. Oh, I think I can see it. No, I can't. Strip down. That's what it says. It says strip down. So I'm gonna line my lips. And I like to put it everywhere. I'll tell you why in a second. So the reason that I put the lip liner everywhere is because sometimes I realize that when you just put it on the outside and like throughout the day, it's kind of the same thing with what I do with the concealer. Like I put a base down to kind of save me from whenever it starts falling off, because that's gonna happen. So this is like the base layer of it, so that when I put this on over it, even when this comes off, I don't look ridiculous and have that like chola lip line around, you know what I mean? And this is the color Impulsive, and it is MAC's Powder Kiss Liquid Lip Color. So I like lip gloss, but then it comes off super quickly. But I also don't want to wear a matte lipstick because it's so sticky and drying, and like if you mess up one thing, it kind of like makes a big deal. So this is the perfect medium. So I like it a lot, and it's really soft. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's so soft. And for me, I like it when something has like a little brush. Makes it easier. Okay, now that we have our makeup done, I'm gonna show you guys how I typically do my hair when I'm not at home just being gross. So I only wash my hair like once a week, I'm not gonna lie, because when I did hair, the reason that that's a good thing is to not wash your hair so much is because the skin on your scalp creates a natural oil that comes out, and when you are constantly basically exfoliating it over and over and over again and washing it too much, your hair doesn't have a chance to produce the natural oils, because it'll produce it, you strip it. It tries to produce it, you strip it. So it can actually have your hair be more dry the longer that you go with doing that. You don't have to be like me and do it once a week. This is something that I have like practiced, because at first it's really hard to do because it can be strange, especially the finer that your hair is, the closer and the faster that your hair gets oily, because you have less hair for the oil to start going through, because that's what tends to happen. The oil starts producing up here and it'll slowly start sliding down. So that's why like people with more thicker hair can get away with it for longer. So I'm gonna do a little middle part, and to refresh my hair, I blow dry it first. So what I'm gonna do is get a little round brush, and I'm just gonna take these front pieces that are kind of like my face framey ones, and I'm gonna put, shout out to my mama. My mama is a hairstylist, and she does my hair, and she just does such a good job with my little face framey pieces. So I get a brush, and then I'm just going to go right underneath it. And I know round brushing can be really hard, but this is actually pretty easy, because all you do is set it here and just kind of push it backwards like a brush. Now that I got, because if you're Hispanic like me, you get those little curly curls around your face like the second that you start sweating. So it's really annoying. But now I'm gonna bring them together, and I'm going to do it backwards. So I'm gonna go like this, and we're gonna do it backwards, just to give it a little bit more volume, and then we'll go in with some dry shampoo. Now what I want you to do is keep it there, and then with your blow dryer, oh my God, I can't even, go to the cold setting, turn it up high, and set it. Now we can let it out. Oh yeah, that's sassy. I look like a troll. Okay, where's my middle part? Right here. Okay, so now I got volume and some life back into the side pieces, so that whenever we go and curl it, it looks so much better. Now, I'm just gonna refresh this back a little bit. Going with some dry shampoo. This is what I'm using right now. It's a bodybuilding dry shampoo. Bodybuilding. So I'm just gonna go in it with layers, little layers, all the way around. Sometimes it's gonna shoot out white, but it's fine with me because I'll blend it in. I look crazy right now, I know. Now, we're just gonna get it up in there. It also helps too if you blow dry it. So if you have like a white patch, like right there, you just blow dry it. Well, my hair wouldn't look too bad parted this way either. Okay, back. Okay, this is where my hair is starting to naturally part. So I'm just gonna let it do this. It's not completely center, but it's a little off center. Let's see, so wherever it's naturally parting, that's what I'm gonna go with then. So I'm gonna bring all this up. The way that you curl your hair is keeping it in neat sections. So we have from the ear down, right here, clippity clip. I'm just gonna do 2. Bring one out here, one out here. Today, I'm just gonna do them all away from my face. This is what I'm using right here. So I bring it all up, leaving a little bit out. You could touch it right here and see if it's hot. Bring it out, press it down, bring it out, press it down. Leave it there. If you want them to stay longer, don't touch them until they're cool. Because when something is hot, it's still moldable. When it's cool, that's why on our face framing pieces, we set it with, we molded them with the heat like we're doing here, and then we set it with the cool. So if it's too curly for you and you don't like it, when it's hot, you can still mold it. So we got those. Next section, I'm gonna go about eyebrow right here. These are gonna go back so that we stay organized. Bring this up front. Bring this up front. I do pretty big sections also because I only want it to look, I want it to look kind of like messy. I don't really want it to look that put together. So, going back. Okay, now that we have everything done except for the front pieces, I turned off my iron and it's starting to get a little bit cooler because these I don't want to be so curly. So the hotter that the iron is, the curlier that they're gonna be. So I'm just gonna go real quick with it. Whoops, and go out. And then I'm gonna pull this one because remember, you can still mold it if it's hot. There we go. See how it lost a lot of curl just by me doing that? There we go, and the other side. There we go, pull it a little bit. There we go. Okay, now all the back pieces have had time to cool, so I'm gonna go in with this Dry Bar. It's a flexible hold hairspray. It's called Money Maker. I'm gonna flip my head. It's flexible hold, so you can use quite a bit. I'm just gonna comb the pieces up, because believe it or not, guys, but I got my dad's fine hair, and my sister and my mom and my older sister all have the thick, beautiful Hispanic hair, and I got a thin hair. So this gives me lots of volume. Here we go, got my little pieces. A little bit of the beachy curls right there. And then also if you want to go in with like an oil of some sort just for the ends so they're not so like piecey. So here is the final look. We have the makeup, it's a little bit warm, and beachy waves for the curls. My hair has gotten so much longer these days and I am loving it. So let me know, guys, if this is something that you like me doing and you want me to do more of, you want me to do different eye looks or different hairstyles, because this was my job before I do what I do now. I was a hairstylist and a makeup artist. So if that's something that you guys want to see on this channel, let me know in the comments below. If you don't, if you're like, Julia, nah, stick to fitness, that's cool too. The more that you guys tell me, the better. So as always, I love you. That was incorrect. Come on, what am I doing, Julia? As always, I love you all so much, and you are more powerful than you think. Bye!